like it. All right. We're just having a really great conversation.
It's an exciting spot to be in, Thomas.
It is. It very much is. Okay. One thing you said in the midst of that, welcome to PicklePod.
We're here.
One thing you said in the middle of that was that you day trade. Do you day trade?
I do. I mean, not always, but like there'll be weeks where I jump on and either, I mean, not to bore people, either cryptocurrencies or stocks. Yeah, I do a little bit.
Okay.
Mess around here and there.
We gave legal advice to the Waters, marketing advice to, or reverse that. Marketing advice to the Waters, legal advice to Zane. Let's give some financial advice. What are your stock picks?
No, I'm not giving stock picks.
What cryptocurrencies are you in?
I'm not going to tell you that either. But what I will tell you is that when markets tank, follow everything. So what you do is you do your research on your stocks, you do your research on your cryptocurrencies, whatever, and then you follow it and follow it and follow and follow it. You don't need to trade immediately. And then when you've gotten a good idea of seeing how the market, you know, the ebbs and flows of the market, and then you see like, oh, the market had a terrible day, and all these stocks I've been watching that have been picks from whatever publications I trust are down as well, snatch a bunch of them up. And that's really like, it takes a lot of patience, and it's not like I'm not day trading every day, but I'm watching the market. I look at the markets every day, and I see like so I have my watch list of like 10, 15 stocks. I have my watch list of like 20 cryptocurrencies. And then when stuff has taken a dramatic dip, then I buy, but I don't buy all in one chunk. I buy, you know, a portion, and then I look at it like a couple hours later. If it's still down or if it's gone down even further, I buy more, and I do that until the point where it starts returning up. And then I just hold, watch it for a couple days. And like the cryptocurrency market, like took a pretty good dive like 2 or 3 days ago. And I jammed a bunch in, and now like I probably maybe up like 20-25% now. So that's my tip, and that's what I've learned over like 10-ish years of watching stuff. I know people say don't time the markets and stuff, but if you are watching them every day and have specific stocks or cryptos you're watching, then time it a little bit.
Okay. That was a long answer. That was a long answer for I'm not going to give financial advice.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I don't know what stocks. I know what stocks I like to watch. I don't really think it matters what, I mean, you got to believe in the company and you got to believe in the cryptocurrency, but other than that, whatever. This is not financial advice.
I just had to sell a bunch of cryptocurrency. Want to know why?
Because you're in school.
That's part of it, but it's the same reason I still don't have my studio set up, but I still don't have my podcast equipment.
You have no money?
I've been basically robbed.
You've been robbed?
Like all my stuff.
Where? Who?
Everything
How?
in here, everything in here, new furniture. I had to go buy. I just went and like, I just bought this stuff yesterday. Like I shipped all my stuff to Austin.
Okay.
And this sketchy company.
I bet you paid. I bet they gave you a discount, didn't they?
And I can't get my stuff back. I mean, they will not give my stuff back, and they won't give us any information like this. I'll be able to get on the phone with this guy, and he's a world-class circle talker.
Okay.
He just goes around and around, and I'm like, it's wild, dude. So
what's the company name?
I don't want to I don't want to like.
Is it American Airlines? Because if it is, you're not getting your stuff back, bro.
Yeah, no. It's this random company. I'm not going to
found a discount,
but it was, yeah, first of all, we should not have worked with this company.
Your parents' homeowners insurance should cover that stuff that you lost.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll look at that. I don't know. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that I get this stuff back.
Yeah.
Like I was on the phone with this guy yesterday, just like peppering him with very basic questions. And I was like, I was being pretty calm and cool, given that he's holding all of my life possessions hostage.
Right.
But today we're gonna ramp it up a little bit.
You're gonna call and pretend.
We're gonna get a little legal on him.
You're gonna pretend like you're a lawyer that represents yourself and change your voice and stuff and be like, "Hello, I'm a representative of Thomas Shields."
So is that how lawyers sound? You
They
sound
used
like,
to in
like
the 20s.
1950s businessman. Yeah, 20s.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
if I break out that voice, my stuff will get next stayed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hope that you get your stuff back. What's the most expensive thing in there?
That's a good question. I mean, all the podcast equipment is pretty expensive.
Oh man, I can't.
I mean, there's like a couch. There's a 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
There's like a dresser. You know, I mean, I would estimate it's got to be, I don't know, 20, 25 grand worth of stuff. Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. If
I took inventory, I mean, maybe it'd be more.
Should we offer the listeners a reward for tracking your stuff down and delivering it to you?
Yeah, I mean, anybody ever dealt with something like this is crazy. These people are lawless.
Well, maybe they're just all enjoying your couch watching TV, and they'll get it to you in a couple months after they find a replacement for your stuff for them.
Yeah, what if they start a world-class podcast?
Oh my gosh, dude, because of what they have all the podcasting equipment. Oh, dude, that'd be a huge slap in the face. Can we talk about pickleball now?
Yeah, I mean, we can. So I just want to give so we have no guest today.
Yes. Why?
Because nobody will. So we have to talk about everything that's going on, and nobody will talk about it because nobody wants to burn any bridges.
Yeah. Everything that's going on, meaning the PPA contracting players for 3 years with all their influx of money.
I'll read the bullet points.
Okay.
Just to give a quick recap for this episode, for anybody who is unaware, here's kind of the timeline. This has all happened over the past 2 weeks, but so Dun & Capital went and bought the Pro Pickleball Association, Pickleball Central, biggest retailer, and pickleballtournaments.com.
Yep.
Then we hear that the PPA offered most of the top pros 3-year exclusive contracts, meaning if they sign these things, they can't play Tournament of Champions, US Open, Nationals, APPs, the list goes on.
And right? Now, also Major League Pickleball. They will probably... We assume. Yes, because...
In all likelihood, you're right.
Because two things.
We just can't
say APP partnered with Major League Pickleball, which is the PPA's competitor, the APP.
Okay, let me get through the rest of this, and then we can.
Okay, fine.
Because there's still more bullet points. APP then announces an emergency wildcard process to replace newly PPA contracted players that were forced to withdraw from the upcoming APP Masters, including Steve Deacon, who is about to host the Boca Raton tournament. He just drops.
Okay.
He signed a 3-year, I believe. The APP announces increased stipends, larger tournament purses, basically just trying to dissuade players from signing with the PPA. And of course, attract new talent. That's right. Good for the game. Regardless, they should have already done that. PPA and Major League Pickleball hold a meeting. I've got accounts from both sides, a lot of people who were there, and crazy meeting is all I can really say. Those talks failed. And so to what you're saying, in all likelihood, the PPA and MLP have gone from amicable partners working in harmony to basically competitors overnight. Major League Pickleball, in response, announces a strategic partnership with the APP. We still don't really understand what all that entails. And the last thing is the PPA announced a Major League Pickleball style team event for 2022, which is pretty much in direct competition. It's like a direct shot at Major League Pickleball.
Yeah, right? Which is pretty much we're not doing Major League Pickleball type of. That's my understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's do this because I told you to prepare before the podcast, which we never do.
And I still didn't, even though I saw that you said that.
Really?
I was like, I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, it's all right because I think you can throw it together and then we'll get a more honest take.
Yeah.
So let's do the good, bad, the good of the situation, the bad of the situation, and then your prediction for what's going to happen, how this is all going to play out, and who comes out on top ultimately, if there is a winner in all of this.
Yeah.
So you go first. Give us the good.
The good is that the players are getting paid enough, hopefully, that they can focus solely on pickleball, meaning the talent will increase, which hopefully then attracts a larger audience, and it continues to grow. Right?
Bad. Yeah.
The bad is that maybe some of these organizations get squashed out by the other one, and we have a winner who is maybe an unjust winner and then takes advantage of the players as there is no other competition. That could be a thing, but it might not. And the other thing is, with all this influx of money from everywhere, is there a ceiling to it? Is it going to come crashing down? Those are all things that we've seen in some other sports where there's been a lot of hype. They've built up, everybody dumped all of this outside money into this thing, and then the outside money stopped coming in, and then everything kind of had to do a hard rebound. So that could be something. But it's one of those things where this sport is growing so fast. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Honestly, like, I hope it keeps growing. I hope it keeps exploding. I think we're going to see that for a time. And then I think we'll see some equilibrium somewhere.
Okay. So I picked up, you didn't say it directly, but I picked up kind of a sentiment that I think is shared by a lot of people in the pickleball community right now.
Okay.
And it is that essentially, like, Dundon Capital, this move, what the PPA is doing, is sort of like predatorial. It's like super aggressive.
Yeah. 3-year contract is a long contract. Do you know where you will be in 2.5 years, Thomas?
No, I'll have hopefully an MBA. That's all I've got.
I'll
probably still be here in Austin.
Okay.
But well, now I lost my train of thought, dude.
No, you said it's
okay. I got
it.
No. Yeah. So I just want to offer like the counterpoint here, right? Why because I've kind of seen this. First of all, I think like the overall sentiment, Scott Golden said this, and I thought it was a really great point. We were going to have him on the pod, but he's playing pickleball.
Sure.
Well, he had an exhibition and I got the times wrong, which we can also talk about.
You'll get him right.
But he's saying that like with all this and everything that's happening, we should be celebrating this as fans of pickleball.
Yeah.
What's happening is good, in my opinion, for the progress of the sport, and so that one day we can watch pickleball on TV like we watch the NHL or the NBA. Will it ever get to the NBA, NFL? No, probably not. But I could see it being like an NHL. And I think we should all want it to get to that point. And I think everything that's going on is positive and it's working toward that. Nothing is pushing the sport backward right now. I also think that if you're the PPA and you're Tom Dundon and you want to get these massive sponsorship deals, you want these big broadcasting, that you want to get pickleball all over national TV. You want to work with these big sophisticated companies and bring them in as partners. They need to know that you have a sustainable business model and that you're going to be here 3 years down the road. You're not just going to be here at the end of this year. So what does the PPA have to do in order to solidify that, to make sure that the road is paved for them to continue to grow and continue to do what they're doing now and improve upon it?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Like,
place, right?
Yeah, but a 3-year contract does not matter if everything crashes down. Then it's not like the contract.
But it's better than a 1 year.
Yeah, but if you're an organization and you really truly the best interest of the athletes, then why not just negotiate each one and go talk to your sponsors and be like, okay, we have this pro, it's going to cost this much. So we need, if you want the top pros here, this is how much it's going to cost each time, and go on either, like, it doesn't have to be exclusive. The reason it's exclusive is solely to crush out any competition.
I think you're making an assumption.
I think, yeah, no, I think so. Sure, I'm making an assumption, but yeah, I think that you could do an event by event and a case by case, but then so I think, yeah, there's definitely competition there for sure. One tour wants to win out over the other, and both of them are competitive towards each other right now. And that's where, like, if you are one that's like, I'm not going to be competitive, I'm just going to act in the best interest of the players, then you might get squashed out at that point because you're not willing to fight back. And so I think that's what we're seeing right now is a tug of war.
Yeah. Yeah. I get the sense that, like, no one shares my feeling, which is that, like, I don't care who builds the sport. I don't care who gets these broadcasting deals and who brings in the right sponsorships and who facilitates the best talent and puts the best product out there. I don't care who that is. I just want those things to happen. So when progress is made toward those points, I think it's great. And
it's only progress. It's only progress if it's sustainable. If it's not sustainable,
well, so yeah, don't you think you have to do long-term contracts in order for it to be sustainable?
I don't think so.
You need to build an infrastructure.
Yeah, but your infrastructure.
Otherwise, every year it's like, okay, what's going to happen this year? Who's going to sign where? And then, like, how do you, as ESPN or CBS, come in and say, oh, I'm going to sign this long-term deal with you, and you don't even know if these players are going to be here next year? What? Why would anybody?
Because we're going to have the newest talent. It's ever changing. The talent pool at the top is still, we've seen a lot of newcomers come in over the past 12 months. Over the last 3 years, the talent that has changed and been at the top and now is not.
Keep the door open for the new talent, but you lock in what's currently there to create a foundation.
But what if your budget evaporates because you've locked in enough players
it's helpful when you have billionaires backing Major League Pickleball and Pro Pickleball Association. And the APP just took on a new investment.
Sure, but if it's not sustainable, this is just me playing devil's advocate. If it's not sustainable, a billionaire dumping a bunch of money into something, recognizes losses over a year and a half, and then shuts the whole thing down. Like that's why it has to be sustainable.
By the way, I'm sure they're anticipating, at the amount of capital they're putting into this, losing money for a few years.
Sure.
And being okay with that, being 100%. Able to stomach that, knowing that that's the upfront cost to this.
But it has to reach a place where it's sustainable and profitable. And so that's like the swing and the gamble, and
become profitable by big broadcasting deals, which increase the sponsorship dollars. More sponsors want to come in.
Sure.
In order to do that, they need to put the things in place right now. They need to build it. If you build it, they will come.
Oh, did you make that up yourself?
Yeah.
I like it. Really smart.
And when I was younger, I wrote this screenplay. And
what's it about?
Like this farmer.
Okay.
He's visited by these ghosts, and they tell him, you need to build
that would never be a movie.
Plow some crops.
That will never be a movie.
You need to build a basement.
No, that will never be.
You don't think that's good?
No.
Yeah. Back to the drawing board on that
one. No, I like, and especially as a viewer, watching the news. I love watching the news materialize every day with what's happening in pickleball. I love the growth of the sport. I love the exposure it's getting. And I'm like everyone else. I'm trying to foresee the positives and the negatives and what could possibly be. But unfortunately,
so what's your prediction?
What's my prediction? I mean, I think one will have to become the premier tour.
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't necessarily mean the other tour has to get squashed out. Maybe it's like a top tier and a second tier or something like that, or a third tier or something like that. There's levels to it. So I definitely think that one will need to become the premier tour. And we talked about this a little bit in text. I said, where is USA Pickleball going to go? Because in the past, they've had some partnerships. You're saying they're going to try and stay neutral because that's their job. I think that they have to do some partnering somewhere. If they can partner with everybody, great. That's great for them. But if not, to stay relevant and to really maintain their position in the sport, they have to do something. Otherwise, the PPA or the APP just steps in at some point and says, we're actually the governing body now, and we determine the rules. So, right. And that's what will eventually happen if USA Pickleball Probably. Does not establish themselves in some capacity.
Yeah. I just, USA Pickleball's like function is a little confusing to me. I mean, I understand that they create the regulations.
Yes.
They do the paddle approval.
Sure.
They sanction but what are they? I mean, truly, what are they? And what's their plan in all of this? Because as we've seen, when the PPA wants to, they can just be like, I don't want to follow that one.
Yeah.
That's a good set of rules. We'll take all it. And like, eventually, why don't they just take that as the foundation and then they build upon it as they see fit?
That's what I'm saying.
See a USA Pickleball.
That's what I'm saying. And I've noticed in sports I've been a part of, the national mountain biking, yes, as a junior, mountain biking as a junior, in the 90s, the sport was exploding like crazy. And there was the National Off-Road Bicycle Association, and all of the mountain bike races had to be sanctioned. But it was just like, the governing body was just coming out and be like, if you run a race, it has to be sanctioned by us. And people were paying these licensing fees. And then organizers were like, they're not doing really anything for us. Why are we paying these licensing fees? Let's just not pay them and we'll be unsanctioned. And that's fine, because what does it matter? And then now this,
which is kind of what the PPA is starting to do. They're kind of just starting to be like,
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And like, if you're not getting the value out of, being licensed or whatever you have to do to be sanctioned, then these organizations are just going to be like, that's fine. They're just a organization that like gives us like whatever. It doesn't matter. We don't need that anymore. And in mountain biking, it pretty much effectively shut down that branch, even though it still is kind of, because I Googled it after we talked, is still kind of in existence. It has not even close to the reach it had for like 5 or 10 years, when everybody just respected that they were the authority. And then all of a sudden everybody just said, no, they're not the authority.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that USA Pickleball had going for it, still has going for it, is that they do, I believe it's more than a sanction for like nationals, the US Open, Tournament of Champions. Like, I think those truly fall under the umbrella, like under at least partly USA Pickleball ownership at this point.
Sure.
But in the last year, those tournaments have not received great feedback from the pros. Yeah. In particular.
Yes.
They like openly criticized a lot of those events. So I think they should think about pouring some resources into developing, improving, so that they can protect them, so that those are around. And then you have a reason to want to be a part of that, because they have the 3 biggest events of the year, right? Mm-hmm. US Open, Nationals, and the Tournament of Champions, which if you go back 2-3 years ago, those were the 3 biggest tournaments.
So is there a space for them?
They're losing significance is the point. And they need to protect that significance.
So here's the way. They could either protect the significance by increasing the prize money, et cetera, for the pros. So all the pros still need to go there, or they become the premier amateur events and crown amateur champions. And if you are an amateur player, that is where you go to get recognition and to get crowned and to become or make that next step into the pros, which I honestly think in the last 30 seconds when I thought about it, that should be USA Pickleball's move. Is we are for amateurs. We help grow the sport.
Yeah.
And our events
farm system
are focused on amateurs, getting amateurs better and getting them recognition. And so then you say, okay, nationals, no pros. It's only amateurs. US Open, amateurs only. And then you grow from there. And I honestly, I mean, I don't know everything. I know a lot of things, but just off of the top of my head, I think that's a play for them.
Got it. So just to recap, you're a marketing whiz, a legal expert, a cryptocurrency savant.
Sure.
You're a pretty prolific day trader.
Every day. Yes.
An expert. We could call it political strategist, if you will.
Yes. Political strategist. Correct.
It's good stuff, dude.
A political strategist? Yeah. I mean,
I think that's kind of what that.
Sure. Fine.
I've been watching a lot of House of Cards. I'm going through that again.
Oh, you are? Interesting.
One of my favorite shows. So good. So good. Let's see. We got a lot of different ways we could go. I wrote a lot of stuff down.
You sure did. And you sent me a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, obviously everything's speculation. We don't know really. I think a lot of people are keeping their cards tight to their chest right now as to what everything entails. Like, we don't know the full 3-year plan of the PPA. We don't know the APP's really long-term future plans and goals and what they've got building. And so it's just a surprise to Christmas morning every day as I wake up and open the Pickleball news on the Dink newsletter.
And the dinkpickleball.com, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, we got tournaments coming up.
Well, we have a tournament starting today.
Yeah, I was yesterday. I was there at the Legacy Pickleball Complex and bumped into our friend and friend of the podcast, Irina Terachenko.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is most people are gonna listen to this probably during the tournament.
Okay. While they're playing
and after. By the way, so the podcast, the Waters episode crushed.
Okay.
Zane
failed.
I wasn't sure whether that was we could write that off as like the Waters bump.
Okay.
So I was very interested to hear or to see the numbers of last week's episode.
Sure.
And we took some time off too. That episode crushed.
Yeah, obviously.
This podcast is growing, and I think it's just a product
of the sport growing.
Pickleball, yeah, I really do. I think pickleball is just.
You don't think people are just coming to hear me?
No. In fact, I was thinking about
the opposite. Oh no. Well, easy come, easy go.
No, but if I just look at all our channels, like our engagement is way up. Like the open rates on the newsletter, the subscriber count, more people are clicking on our blogs. The podcast is like, I think maybe all this news is really grabbing a lot of outsiders' attention and driving it into the sport, which is what we hope for.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing. But all right, so let's just talk about the API. I told you to make your picks. Did you look at the individual events and make your picks?
Well,
for this APP. What is this one called? What is this tournament called? I should know this.
This is the APP Mesa Open.
Yeah, right. Yeah, are you going to go over there?
Yeah, I will go over there and watch some. So we got the men's pros doubles, And the most interesting coupling here, the one that I like, is Austin Gridley and J.W. Johnson.
Okay. I like that. I like that as like kind of like a sleeper pick.
Yeah. I like it. I think we're seeing a lot of matchups we haven't seen in the past. And part of that is that the PPA contracted players are maybe staying away from this one a little bit, et cetera. We got Deckel and
there's a pretty good draw on the men's doubles side.
We got Deckel Barr and Adam Stone. We got
it's an obvious pick.
Yeah. We got a lot of people there. And so it'll be interesting to see, but I am interested to see how Gridley and Johnson play with each other.
Yeah. My sleeper pick is Callan Dawson and Spencer Smith.
Okay. A Gamma Man.
I think they could sneak in there.
Spencer's on Team Gamma, and he just signed with the PPA. So,
and but he did a 1 year, so he can play.
Oh, interesting.
In a few outside.
I didn't even know that was an option to do a 1 year or a 3 year.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the guys are just signing the 1 years.
Okay.
I know there are a lot of top players who have signed the 3 years, but 1 year is still an option. But okay, I want to try and like pick the winner of every event. We'll revisit it next episode, and we'll see who gets more right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
Some of these links aren't working for me.
Oh, the CAPTCHA.
No, the
issue. I'll guide you through those ones.
Okay.
And I'm gonna write down our picks. So for men's dubs, give me your pick. J-Dub.
J-Dub and Austin Gridley.
I'm gonna go with, because I'm gonna try and do like, so I'll give a sleeper too. I want to give my safe picks, and then I'll give kind of like my ones to watch. So Stone and Barr, obvious pick for me.
Yep.
Let's go to, by the way, in addition to being robbed, starting classes, moving into a new apartment, switching cities.
Okay.
I also got COVID last week.
Oh man. Well,
and so I'm like I tested negative twice already. So
at the end of each dark tunnel is bright sunlight. So keep your head down, Thomas Shields.
I'm feeling good despite all the curveballs I've been.
I got the mixed pro doubles up right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to get to that too.
Okay. I'm going to take a little break. We can edit this part out, right? I'll be right back. Otherwise, I'm going to pee my pants.
Do you have to pee? Do you? Why do you pee a lot? I do too. It's the worst.
Because when I start my morning, I drink a full large glass of water, probably 20 to 30 ounces of water. And then to get me energized.
How many ounces in a liter?
I don't know.
I drink a liter every morning.
Yeah. And then I drink 2 cups of coffee.
Someone told me to do that on a podcast, and I live my life based on podcasts.
You sure do. Well, we'll talk about electrolytes in a second when I get back, but I got to go, and I will be back in 20 seconds. Okay.
Okay. What were we talking about? Oh. Yeah.
Mixed pro doubles predictions. We already had men's doubles predictions. You predicted the obvious. I predicted a sleeper pick.
Okay, cool. Mixed pro doubles. Who you got?
I got to go with our good friend Jay DeVilliers and Jesse Irvine.
I think that is. So we're both going to go with them.
Okay. But I do think the J.W. Johnson, Lee Whitwell matchup is interesting, especially after her dominance at MLP would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got Zane Navratil and Lee Jansen. We've got a lot of people in there. Spencer Smith and Alice Jones. Also another interesting matchup. Elise.
You got to get the names right, dude.
Elise, are you sure?
Elise Jones. and Spencer Smith and Leia
Why
Jansen.
does she spell it that way?
I don't know, man. But she's a teacher, so I wouldn't question her.
Okay.
She'll be able to tell you about spelling. Irina's playing with Eric Lang. I like Vivian David and Dekel Bar a lot. They've been playing together a ton.
And they're hosting this tournament as well.
I could see them taking this one. But Adam and Corinne always play really well together.
Yep.
They just know each other's game so well. But yeah, I think Jay and Jesse is kind of the obvious pick. So, but I kind of want to go with. All right, I'm going Jay and Jesse. But I almost went with Dekel and Vivian. So let me
copycat.
All right, let's do women's dubs. Okay.
I can't get to women's dubs.
That's all right. I'll tell you who you're picking. Women's pro doubles. So kind of a small draw here.
Oh, I found it. I found women's pro doubles. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Susanna Barr and Elise Jones.
Yep.
Susanna Barr
Are you sure it's not Alice Jones?
I'm very sure. She just signed with the PPA, by the way.
She did. I saw that.
Which is great because
her and Megan.
Here's the thing about some of these events at some of these APPs and other tournaments. It's like this women's pro doubles draw. It's kind of small. The women's pro singles is six women.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 women is too small. And last year there were events that were just 4 women. And it was like you played 2 matches, you win the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Like, especially when you think about trying to go shop to sponsors and shop to broadcasters and grow the sport. It's like, but you can only get 6 people to show up to a pro event. Like, that's not great. And so one thing that I like that the PPA is doing is they're going for depth, right? They just signed Yana Grechkina, Lindsay Newman, who was there before, right?
Yep.
Yana's a new signing. They signed Elise Jones. That's a new signing this year.
You're sure it's not Alice?
I'm going to kill you. Could be Alice. I'm going to send a text and we'll see, because it'd be really funny if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's Elise.
Okay.
And then Megan Dizon.
Yep.
Megan Sheehan Dixon.
I don't know, but she is a Gamma athlete, so I have been familiar with her.
Gamma and Lotto.
Yep.
And so what they're doing is they're adding a ton of depth to the women's side so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. So that's one of those kind of small things I think people overlook, but it will prevent something like a singles event.
Some no-shows.
6 women. But yeah, okay, back to women's pro doubles. Susanna Barr, she played Major League Pickleball. Elise Jones, new PPA player.
Alice.
I like Irina and Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Some players I don't quite recognize. I think my pick is going to be for who are you picking?
I'm debating between the Jesse Irvine, Andrea Coop partnership and Stratman and Jansen.
Okay. Yeah. I wrote down my top 3 would be.
I also think Terachenko and Vivian David also is.
That's my pick.
Okay. So those are my top 3 right there.
Vivian.
Yeah.
I'm also just going to pick Vivian as the up and comer of 2022. She's been hanging around. She's a great player, but I think she's been playing a ton at Dreamland with the guys. Yep. And I played against her, and I think she's really good. So
it's also interesting to me, going back to the great organization wars, is that Dreamland is where Major League Pickleball is hosted, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these players that are contracted now with the PPA are living there and training there, but might not be able to participate. Just one lives there?
Who signed with the PPA lives there.
Okay.
That's Rob Nunnery.
Okay.
So he lives at Major League Pickleball's headquarters.
Right.
Dekel and Vivian live there as well, but Dekel told us when he came on our pod that he wasn't going to sign with any type of commitment to the APP or the PPA. He's going to do both.
Okay.
And Vivian David, I think, is kind of the same way.
Okay.
But still, I get your point. It's a very unique situation. And Ben and Colin were supposed to play a lot over there at Dreamland.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other guys who are going over there a lot. AJ Kohler, who signed with the PPA, is over there playing a lot. DJ Young is not signed by either, but he's over there playing a lot. But yeah, I mean, it just presents this really unique, strange scenario. That
AJ's cousin is over there.
Thomas Wilson is going over there a ton. He signed with the PPA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, only in a sport in its infancy like this could have this type of situation around.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I'm sure it's very awkward for some of these players.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your pick is, say it again, what you're going with? I'm going with Irina and Vivian, and you're going with what? Coop and Irvin or Jansen Stratman?
Jansen Stratman.
Okay. I like that one too. Andrea Coop's one of those holdouts that she seems like a APP loyalist.
Mm-hmm.
I bet the PPA wants to pick her up, but she's like full-time attorney. I don't know how committed she is to running this pro thing.
Yeah.
She seems to be playing in more and more events, which is awesome. She's a great player.
Right.
She had a really good showing in Major League Pickleball. Let's see. All right. Women's pro singles. There's an obvious pick here. There's a no-brainer pick.
Well, I was having a hard time opening some of your links, but I will see if this one opens.
It's okay. Here, ready? Irina Terashenko, Elise Jones, Angie Walker, Cameron Blackwood, Tatiana Rule, and Georgia Johnson.
Irina?
Yeah. Georgia's coming in. Georgia. It's going to be Georgia and Irina in the final. They both have buys first round. All right. Ready? What's the last one? Men's pro singles?
Yep.
It's actually a pretty good draw here.
I also can't pull this one up, but let's hear the singles.
Hayden Patriquin, Brett Forsyth. I might be Forsyth.
Forsyth.
Zane Nabertil, Dylan Frazier, Ryan Sherry, Gabe Joseph, Elliot Markowitz, Jack Foster, Kyle Lewis, J.W. Johnson, Damian Spitzo, Frank Anthony Davis, Rafa Hewitt, Jay DeVilliers, Kaden Nemeth, Johnson Cola, and Anton Goots.
Man.
No, it's kind of
that's a draw. That's a really good draw. It's I mean, it's got to be between Zane and Jay for me.
J-Dub's out there too.
I know J-Dub's out there, but I'm more friends with Jay and
so you
Zane.
Okay, got it.
I choose based on
we're going
friendship.
bias opinions here.
Bias here. No, JW's there too. So we do have 3. I will. Oh man,
my sleeper is Jack Foster.
Okay,
he's gonna have a big year in singles. Mark my words. He's got a little work to do on the doubles side, but
okay. So is that who you're picking to win?
No,
that's just your sleeper pick.
Yeah,
I am going to choose
Jay or Zane.
Ty? Zane.
Okay, I'm gonna go Jay because
Zane doesn't
Jay has had for the first time in a while, some time to rest, relax. I mean, he was grinding. He was playing every weekend for a while there at the end of the year.
Yeah,
and I think in some of those tournaments he was just exhausted.
Okay.
So he's had a ton of time to rest. And yeah, you're right. Zane does not have his serve, so that's one less variable for Jay to worry about.
But this is an APP event, so can he still spin with one hand? No,
because it's a USAP thing.
Okay.
PPA outlawed any spin apply to the ball with the toss.
Okay.
USA Pickleball just said, it can't be. I don't even remember.
Spun.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They outlawed it, so Zane can't do it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting. I'm going to have to head over and watch everything going on.
Yeah. It's a pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm actually excited to watch this one. But But yeah, okay, let's see what else we got on here. I don't know. Want to go? Want to quit? Want to go home?
No, I mean, I talked to you about Relight, yes, last week, and they heard the podcast and they loved the shout out, and they said they are going to get us a coupon code for our listeners. Relight, again, has 10 times the amount of electrolytes of most of the leading electrolyte brands, which is more on par with how many electrolytes you're losing when you're sweating and playing pickleball. And there's no fillers in it. It's all natural ingredients. And for me personally, coming from the athletic background that I do, it's the only electrolyte mix that I've ever really felt has made a difference with muscle cramping and my energy. So
tastes good too.
And it tastes good. I like the salty sweet, and the salt that you're tasting is the fact that there is so many more electrolytes in this thing than any other brand. So we should have a coupon code for you in the next week or two. And yeah, I just want to thank them. That was awesome of them to do. And I think that is it, other than what you got coming up, Thomas. You got anything exciting coming up in the world of pickleball? You going to be producing any dink content here in Arizona? What do you got?
I got to figure it out. I was talking to the Pickle Play crew, and they're going to the Mesa, the PPA, the Desert Ridge, and I was like, I was not planning on going, and now I'm like, should probably be there.
Okay.
And I want to be there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a huge year for pickleball, dude. I'm super optimistic about this sport and where it's headed. Yeah. Everything that's happening, in my opinion, is very positive. But I actually want to read, kind of on that note, I want to read Tyson McGuffin's take on the situation. It's pretty neutral, but I like his sentiment and his perspective here.
Okay.
He put it in his newsletter, so you guys can go subscribe to Tyson McGuffin's newsletter. We plugged too many other newsletters on this podcast.
You did. I didn't plug any newsletters, and I don't have a newsletter of my own. Otherwise, I'd be plugging it left and right.
This is Tyson McGuffin's words. Here's my take on the new developments within the two pro tours. It looks like both the PPA and APP tours are aligning themselves with very large investors looking to elevate the sport. Only time will tell, but with major increases in capital funding for each tour, it can only lead to better production and exposure overall. That's kind of my thing. MLP has chosen to join forces with APP. Tom Dundon has invested heavily in the PPA. Both of these developments will bring a wealth of knowledge in other areas, business, promotion, advertising, etc., to the sport, and will get pickleball more attention. There's no accurate published account of which players have signed where, but it looks like we'll have a better idea by the end of the month. Until then, we'll all just sit back and watch it play out. We each have a front row seat to what seems like the most precedented time for pickleball to date. Grab your popcorn, drink of choice, and watch along with us as this crazy production unfolds. I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's what
I thought it was
I mean.
I thought it was just a good kind of, nothing groundbreaking there, but a good synopsis and a good perspective to have on all this.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of like what echoes kind of what most of us are thinking, is that we're excited to see where it goes, and we understand the benefits of having these larger companies pushing the sport. So
he also included this pretty interesting table in his newsletter, which is kind of like an outline of like the PPA versus APP right now, which I thought was interesting. So one thing to point out that I thought was not the case after these APP increases in stipends and payouts. Well, I guess this would just be the purse sizes. In 2022, the APP is offering approximately 1.7 million across 32 events. And the PPA is offering 1.5 million across 20 events. So the PPA, more on the line per tournament, but in total for 2022, the APP has the edge by about 200 grand.
Right.
But either way, it's cool to see these numbers total in the millions.
Right.
I think it's a great thing.
Millions of dollars are nice. I mean, I had $1 million check in my hands once that was made out to me, and it felt really nice.
1 million.
Mm-hmm.
What was that for?
I won Survivor.
You got $1 million. That is badass. But was it literally 1 million? It was just like 1,000,000.
Yeah, except for that I took a $2,500 advance to pay my rent while I was gone filming the show. So it was actually 900. It was just 2,500 short of $1 million check.
No,
but
I take back what I said.
They did give me $1 million check to present in the press and stuff, and then they gave me a real check. But then they also paid me my appearance fee, so my bank account was over $1 million.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I would suggest if you ever get a chance to have $1 million check written out in your name to do it.
I want cash like bundled in
$2 bills.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
My one of the orientation questions for my MBA, one of the first classes, they said, how much do you think 1 million single dollar bills weighs?
Ooh, I've heard this question before, but I don't remember the answer. I think it's very heavy.
I was way off. I was embarrassingly off because then they published all the answers.
Were you embarrassingly off on the high side or the low side?
No comment. I want to hear your range and what you think. You can give a range.
I have no clue. I have no clue whatsoever.
All right, let's start from zero. Heavy. Let's start from zero and go up. And I'll ask, okay, do you think it's more than 100 pounds?
Yeah.
Do you think it's more than 200 pounds?
Yeah.
Do you think it's more than 300 pounds?
Yes.
I feel like you're reading my, and you're.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's more.
Do you think it's more than 400?
Yes.
Do you think it's more than 500?
Yes.
Okay, let's skip to 700.
Yes. It's heavier.
Is it more than 1,000 pounds?
Yes.
Is it more than 1,500 pounds?
No.
You already, all right, well, you got higher than me.
It's higher still than 1,500?
Yeah.
Significantly?
I think it was, this is good. Sorry, listeners, but I don't have the answer. So this is totally
are you kidding me?
I just remember that it was above 1,000 pounds. And I was like, damn it.
How much?
All right, you're going to Google it because I was going to.
$1 million in dollar bills or hundreds?
Single dollar bills.
Bills weigh. Okay, so in hundreds, it's 22 pounds. So you times 22 times 100, right? So 22 times 100 is 2,200 pounds. So it's roughly 2,200 pounds. Yeah. So you're going to need help carrying that.
By the way, I was just thinking.
Yeah. You want to get paid.
That's not all that happened. That's not all that happened to me this past week. This apartment, I almost reneged on the lease because I got in here.
Okay.
And it smells.
Like? I mean, that's the risk you run when you rent an apartment. Have you been burning candles and incense and cooking a bunch of pizzas and stuff to burn the smell out?
Airing it out constantly.
Like, what's it smell like? Like somebody...
They came in and it's something they were cooking.
Okay.
Constantly. So they came in, they replaced the microwave and the oven.
Okay.
I had guys in here cleaning out the ducts yesterday.
Okay.
They're coming back today to fill the entire apartment up with like, they're gonna fog it.
Yeah, fumigate it. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Didn't know what that was. They're
Okay.
gonna put these pucks up in the vents.
Okay.
And they're gonna do, and the apartment's gonna pay for a deep clean.
Okay. Did you check the
But I
walls
had
for
this,
like
it
dead
was so
bodies
bad,
and stuff?
dude. It was so bad. I stayed in a hotel for 3 days more than I thought I was going to have to.
Wow. And you're not just picky. You're certain that it stinks.
And yeah, and now I have like PTSD from it, so I'm hypersensitive to it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did realize coming out of my rooms, it was only the third night I've slept in the room. So coming from the room to the kitchen today, I smelled the scent change. I go, okay, good. So I've identified it is the kitchen.
Okay.
So we're making some progress, but.
Well, I'm very, very interested in hearing how this all shakes out over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's good content, huh?
Yeah, it's really good.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week.
We won't even talk about pickleball. We'll just talk about my apartment smells.
To get an update on the smell of Thomas's apartment. That's what I'm saying, is your COVID affecting your sensory organs into thinking that it stinks when really it smells delicious.
Dude, what if it's worse than I think and the COVID actually is reduced?
Helping block it? Yeah, those are just variables that we can't be certain of. Do the people who are coming in and helping you fix the smell also smell it? Like when people come in and they're
some
like,
people have biases.
Okay,
and
they're like, it smells good.
That the smell is as bad as it is. But I had those like work guys come in yesterday, and they agreed.
Okay.
So that was vindicating. But you know, the apartment, the leasing staff is like, it's really not that bad.
Yeah,
like,
we don't smell it.
I know you're gonna say that.
Yeah.
But hey, leave a review, follow on Spotify, hit the follow button on Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot more people are watching the YouTube videos, so I'll start putting those up more consistently. I've been kind of random with those.
Okay.
Because I don't really care about the YouTube views, but they've been good. Last two
everything, any reach we have is great.
Yeah, right. And leave a comment, like the video. I mean, I don't know, interact, ask us some questions. We can do questions next episode. And let us know if you like hearing about the issues in my life, or if you just want us to shut up and talk about pickleball.
No, I think hearing about your issues makes me feel really great about where I'm living. So for me, I know it's a boost.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, everybody. We did it.
Let's also work on a new sign off, because again, that is your other podcast, but
fine. You want another pickle out? Pickle out, guys. Keep working.
I want to, last thought.
Yep.
I want to propose maybe changing the podcast name. What do you think about that? Marinate on that one. Everybody, give us your feedback.
It depends on what.
If we were to change it, what would we call it?
Rather than the
DM
PicklePod?
on Instagram.
Why do you want to change it?
I think PicklePod was initially meant to be ironic. But when you're trying to like promote the podcast and talk about it seriously, I think it misses the mark. People are like,
you loved PicklePod at first.
I thought it was like ironic and funny, and I thought we'd have like funny t-shirts and stuff like that. And like,
we didn't get any.
But I think the way the podcast has evolved, I feel like the name is just wrong. Like it just doesn't fit.
It needs to be more serious.
Yeah,
more professional.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. What if we called ourselves? I feel like we freestyle a lot. What if we called ourselves the Freestyle Boys? Like, would that be a good name?
No, that's a dumb name. What?
Now Rob's not going to come on the podcast next week.
He will.
Yeah, he will. And we're going to come up with a new name.
We are. Well, you're in business and marketing school, so I feel like this should be your calling right now. This is your first true test.
Yeah.
Come up with something that's going to generate the most amount of interest from the largest population of people.
All right. We'll think about it. We'll marinate on it for next episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Later.
We're out. Pickle out.